Hello and welcome to another episode of Boxing TV. We bring the fighters to the fans. Coming up on today's show, the incredible story of one of boxing's brightest talents, Blair Cobbs. Stay tuned. A massive welcome to my next guest, Blair The Flair Cobbs. Blair, how you doing? You well, mate?
I'm doing wonderful. It's just a wonderful time right now. Things are a little shaky, but things are going to start progressing. And also, I went on a little vacation to Jamaica to get some of the stress off. So things are doing pretty well. Yeah, and I changed my training camp, so now I'm training with Freddie Roach in Hollywood, and camps has been going pretty good, pretty smoothly.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I was enticed into an interview with one of my good friends, Damon Gonzalez, and I heard about you and your story, and I actually love this character and this persona that you seem to have. It's awesome. You remind me of. Have you ever played Grand Theft Auto? GTA?
Oh yeah, I played that a little bit.
Do you remember Vice City when they were like proper like? I don't even know what the word is for you, but you remind me of a bad guy out of that. It's funny. So let's talk about you. What we do here is bring the fighters to the fans and get to know, the person behind the gloves. So, what got you into boxing then?
Oh man, it's a series of unfortunate events that have plagued my life. But and boxing became the one and only outlet that can save me from that crazy situation. My family was on a run. My father was like one of the FBI most wanted lists, and we had to flee the country. So I ended up leaving like this beautiful life in Beverly Hills and living a pretty good life as a child, not knowing what's going on, and I had to flee the country to Mexico, and I stayed and lived in Mexico, went to school in Mexico. And that's where I started boxing. I lost everything at that time. I lost my identity. I lost who I am, and I had like no future at that point. There was no foreseeable future. So then that's when boxing found me, or I found boxing, and a friend of mine had taken me to the gym, and it's just been downhill from there.
Uphill from there. You're doing great now. I mean, look at you now. I want to kind of dig in a little bit more because it might be common knowledge over in the US, but to us, we're learning about you. We're understanding who you are. What happened there? What's this FBI thing about? I mean, what actually happened?
Well, allegedly on, it's all on the internet and stuff. Allegedly, my father had like crashed a plane with like a whole lot of drugs and money and things like that, and he was considered a kingpin drug dealer, and because he crashed that plane, everything was tied to him, linking him to the scene of the crime and the incident, and he fled the country. And because I didn't have anybody else at the time, I didn't have a mother, I didn't have any other like family members that could take care of myself and my sister. We had to actually flee the country with him, and that was a pretty tough little situation because at that particular moment, fleeing is actually like one of the worst things that you can do because
it makes you look guilty, doesn't it?
Yeah, and not only that, like the situation with children, fleeing the country with children are still like trying to learn themselves, trying to grow and trying to find themselves, and then you take everything away from them. You already was like a young person with like problem with trying to find yourself and trying to find your identity, and then to just completely have no identity at all and be just a clean slate and not even a real person to be even considered. It was a tough situation mentally and through the whole situation, and that's why like these characters have came out when I started to become, a fighter, and people started to see me more. These characters is who I am because like I've always had that problem with finding my own identity. So I created these characters. I'm through like I guess like a slight schizophrenic
Yeah.
situation.
That's so cool, though. I mean, it's so
Yeah,
interesting,
yeah.
It can, from what you've just said, I mean, that actually sounds like something I'd watch on GTA. It does. I think I've got the analogy perfect there. They're perfect. So, yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about that. So you had a really rough time growing up. And I mean, you said about, what's going on, with your life and trying to find your identity. I mean, as a kid, I moved school and I think I was about 13. And I found it really hard. And you had to move countries, and you've gone from, was it California to Guadalajara to, I mean, wow. I mean, it's mad. How did that affect you? I mean, how did that actually affect you directly?
Well, it affected me pretty bad, because even before moving out the country,
Yeah.
we never really stayed in one place for too long. I don't think I've ever lived in one place for more than 4 years. So like it's
Okay.
just been like bang, 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 move, 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 move. So like, us as children, me and my sister, us as children, we're just constantly being moved around. And then the big enchilada hits. You end up losing parents, like your mother and your grandmother. The
Yeah.
foundation of your life starts to just like kind of just lose itself.
Yeah.
And then after that, you end up losing even your identity. You're like, okay, now you can't even call yourself who you are now.
Really?
Let's just go ahead and move you on to a next stage of life of pretty much nothingness.
Must be so
you know,
hard. So is your
yeah,
actual real name Blair Cobbs then? Or not?
yeah, yeah,
It is.
yeah. My
Okay.
my real name is Blair Cobbs. Thank God. I actually remember that. Like,
Yeah, keep that one. It's quite important. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's such a cool story. I mean, it must have been so hard, but from the outside looking in, it's really interesting. I've had a bit of a mad
Yeah, yeah.
life, and one of these days, you never know, I might write a book about it. But you've got a bestseller there, haven't you? I mean, wow, what's
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. So the flair, you call Blair the Flair. Why? Where did this come from, and why the flair?
Um. Well, I've always had an entity that's a part of me that happens to come out, and people see it. When I'm in the gym and things of that nature, and when I'm sparring and fighting and things like that, it's a completely different person.
Okay.
The only thing is that I've never had a name on it. I've never given it a name.
Okay. So you are now 14 wins, one draw with 9 knockouts to your name. I mean, that's just some kind of accomplishment there. Really, really is. What do you work on in terms of your power? Do you feel it's natural? Do you feel it's technique? Why do you think you're getting rid of these guys so easy?
Well, it's just hard work. It's just a whole lot of hard work. Um, I try to work on my hand strength, so my hand can carry more power and carry more weight behind it. Because I can punch really, really hard, but my hands have to be able to transfer the energy. So
Okay.
that's little stuff that I'm working on, and also just making sure that like when trying to get the right timing. It's all about the right timing. Once you get somebody in a certain range and distance that you can like execute like the correct punch at the correct time. So it's all about technique, range, and distance, and just trying to stay persistent on focusing on one thing at hand, and that's just getting that one good knockout.
That I've got to ask you this. I used to fight a long time ago, but I've got to say, I don't think I ever worked on my hand strength. I mean, how'd you like that or something? How'd you work on your hand strength?
Well, I got things like this. I have like at all times.
Okay,
You can
okay,
always just do a whole lot of this, hundreds of it. You can do this right here, whereas though like you're just flexing, hundreds of
okay.
it, things like that, twisting your arms, getting used. See, because the thing is, who got the strongest hands? Construction
Who?
workers.
Okay, yeah.
If you ever shook a construction worker hand, man,
He's like,
it's got nothing but muscles
I
on it.
see. I've never really put two and two together. I mean, we used to have a big mining industry here in the UK, and I get that. And my granddad was a grave digger, for instance, and he's not with us anymore. God rest his soul. But he was a fighting man, strong man, and even when he was frail and he was dying, I shook his hand. I was like, even when he was like 80. Do you know what I mean? So I can get that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board with that idea. It's forgotten a lot, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Canelo started working on his hand strength after around the Triple G fight to try to have an equalizer for Triple G's power, and so it's just something that's not like people don't really work on it a lot in boxing, and but that's the reason why right now you're starting to see a whole lot of fights go to distance and things like that, know. So, but it's just one of those things. Your hands they get damaged from fights. People get hurt. It gets brittle, and so like trying to have something to equal it out with like, just some good hand strength exercises could possibly get you to a point where you're able to get these guys out of there.
It's about them little edges. They're doing the little things that other people aren't doing, isn't it?
The tiny things.
They add up. Yeah, they add up. So obviously you had a close relationship. You had a close relationship with Bernard Hopkins, didn't you? Tell us a bit about that.
Well, there was a time period where I was going through a whole lot of like just losses, failures.
Okay.
I was 4-0 for like 3 years. I started boxing. I started boxing as a pro, and the first year I had 3 fights, and the second year I had 1, and then I went on a very long streak of no fights at all. And
okay.
it was very hard trying to get a fight because people where I'm from in Philadelphia, they already knew how talented I was, so I couldn't catch these guys off guard. I couldn't pay nobody enough money to fight me.
Really?
Yeah, it's just gotten to that point, and it was just really tough trying to just get over that hump of just finally just getting another fight. So I went through a whole lot of adversity, financially, mentally, spiritually, and And at one point, Bernard Hopkins came into my life, and we started talking and started working together, and he started mentoring me and getting me to understand certain things inside and outside the ring. I already understood at one point because I've lost so much time because of my finances and because of like the situation that had happened as far as like my this with the beginning part of my boxing career. So because of that, I knew that like I wasn't going to like my prime, the prime of my career wasn't going to happen at 25, 24, 23, 26, 27. The prime of my career wasn't going to happen at that time period. So I took tutelage under Bernard Hopkins and got to learn a whole lot about the body, learn how to hold that prime all the way out to like around 40, 45 years old. And it's worked tremendously. My body is still extremely young. But the great part,
you have to teach me, Blair.
The great part about
I'm 33. I feel 100.
Yeah, right. Oh, you 33?
I'm 33 and I feel 1,000.
I feel 1,000. Yeah.
I like it.
Well, right now, because like I have like a really big edge over most people because I have such a young body. But also I have a older mindset. So I have a whole lot of wisdom. I have a whole lot of control mentally compared to most young fighters. So that's what I've been doing. I've been able to break down these young fighters easily, because I'm older, but I still have a young body. And what makes that even crazier, having a young body, is that like I'm probably one of the most talented fighters, of this generation that we have today. I'm one of the most talented fighters. Fast feet, fast hands, fast head movement, strong hands, strong punches, southpaw. I can box on.
That makes everything awkward.
Yeah, I can box inside. I can box outside. I have incredible reflexes to set up traps and counter punches. So it's just a whole lot of things that's going on. I mean, fighters like that haven't been seen in a long time.
Yeah.
They only come every once in a generation. Like the last generation was probably Manny Pacquiao, and
Hmm.
before that, man, probably like Hector Camacho, and before that, like in the old days with like Sugar Ray Leonard and all of them, it really wasn't Sugar Ray
Yeah.
Leonard. It was Aaron Pryor. Like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Aaron Pryor was just like that much more talented than everybody else. Then you
He was
have
a
like,
bad dude.
yeah, you have Roy Jones and Muhammad Ali, and I'm one of those people that's in that category, freak of nature fighters
Right.
they call them.
That's awesome. And I love how highly, that you see yourself, because I've always said this before. And don't get me wrong, I speak to a lot of fighters, and it's so great to see when they believe in themselves. But no one's going to fight for you. If you don't
Yeah.
believe in yourself, no one will believe in you. So I think that's great. That's super to hear. Leading perfectly on then to my next question. You mentioned Manny Pacquiao there. So you are now training out of the wildcard gym, aren't you, with Freddie Roach? Tell us a little bit about that. How's it going there? What does it feel like being in such a, under kind of such famous tutelage, if you like?
It feels great. It feels great. They're very, very organized. They're very professional. Things are getting done in a timely manner.
Okay.
Everything is it's just a one-stop shop. I have everything I need to be able to progress to that next level. We have strength condition trainers on site watching my every move. We have nutritionists. We have everything. I have like all the supplements I need to make sure I maximize my performance. I'm very close to the gym, so I don't have to like do a whole lot of traveling. It's
That's
it's
good.
it's a really good situation where a fighter like myself can progress and get to that next level. What we're trying to do is get to the elite level. So we need an
Okay.
elite level training experience. We had like my training before was great also, and I take nothing away from Bones Adams, and
Yeah.
I still have a wonderful relationship with my last trainers, and it was just
Okay,
it
that's
was
good.
just time to take a quick little breather and see
Yeah.
what what Freddie Roach has to offer to the most exciting man in boxing.
What do you feel? And I love hearing that, the most exciting man in boxing. Go on, Blair. Go on, Blair. But go on, I love it. But what does he bring? Because obviously, looking at the Manny Pacquiao, for instance, this is 8 weight world champion. He's a southpaw too, so that obviously does fit hand in hand with you. But what does Freddie Roach bring? Why do you think he's been so successful in his coaching career?
Well, no, I haven't been with him that long, but judging based off of what I've learned so far and what I've gained so far from the camp and from the experience and from all the trainers from Freddie to all the people under Freddie and the
Yeah.
whole experience as a whole, what I see is that like one, they're very professional on how they execute certain things, and
Okay.
it's all about consistency. All right, so like let's
See.
say, okay, we want you to throw a three punch combination every time you go in there now. Like first it was just one shot, one shot, one shot, two shot. That's because you're out of shape. Okay, now Blair Cobbs, what I need you to do is to turn it up a notch. I need you to give me three punches. One, two, one, two,
Okay.
three. Try to squeeze out three punches and like, within like at least 10 times in each round. I want you to be able
Okay.
to blow this guy out, not just go neck and neck with him and then win the last 30 seconds.
I see. Yeah,
Let's
it's
blow
clever.
them out. And
Yeah.
it's like that's the kind of experience that they have. They're trying to get the most out of you by being very, very consistent and patient
Okay.
and just strategic thinking, without going over and beyond. Like sometimes you have a lot of trainers out there that overteach. Like
Yeah, I'm with you there.
they'll stop you for like a good like hour to break
Yeah.
down 6 7 different things, and then by time you get started you done forgot the first thing they taught you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I'm
just,
with you there. Yeah,
so,
I like it. Brilliant. Awesome. So, what's next for you then? I know things are a bit crazy at the moment, but what's next for you then?
um the sky's the limits. We possibly could be looking at a world title very, very soon. My everything is blowing up. It's blowing up at a very rapid pace. So there's no telling what's going to happen. I could be looking at a world title within the next 3 fights, within the next 2 fights, possibly. Definitely within the next 5 fights, I should have a world title around my waist, and things should be moving forward from there. What we're looking for is the biggest status imaginable, the number one fighter in the world, and that's only going to be done by getting through the best of the best, by beating the best in the welterweight weight class and moving on, and possibly having a big triple header, a big header with Canelo Alvarez or somebody like that. We got to get to superstar status.
My man. I love your confidence. It oozes out of you. And like I say, when I've seen you in the Hawaiian shirts and, they're looking dead cool, I'm like, he's a cool guy. And, you do need an element of that, don't you? You do need an element of a good guy, bad guy, or, a character. I mean, look at, like you said about Hector Camacho. He was a character, wasn't he? Prince Naseem Hamed, Ricky Hatton, Floyd Mayweather. Don't get me wrong, he's the bad guy a lot of the time, but still, he's a character that people have tied. Look at Tyson Fury. It's the same kind of thing. What I like so much about you, Blair, is you know when to laugh and you know when to cry. And I like that about you. So we're going to have a bit of fun now. And I did this the other day with Kelly Pavlik, and I did this with Joe Joyce. But you seem fun. So this is getting to know Blair The Flair Cobbs. Now, Blair, I'm going to ask you to do some crazy things now.
Okay.
But I need your full support. Are you with me, mate?
I'm with you.
Go on, Blair. Go on, lad. Right, you're going to look back at this when you're a world champion and think, remember that crazy guy with that stupid hat on? Yeah, okay, here we go then. Now, this is called the 6-question circuit, okay? And I'm going to ask you to do 6 things, and I just need you to do it as fast as you can. Are you with me?
Okay.
Okay, cool. What colour is your favourite Power Ranger?
Green.
Is there a green one?
Yup.
Okay, fair enough.
Actually, he was a bad guy at first.
Okay, that makes sense for you.
He was the bad guy at first, and then they changed him to a good guy.
Fair enough. I'm liking that. Do the robot. I love how you're singing a fake song as well while you're doing it. Awesome, brilliant. How good are you at rapping?
Horrible. But I'm working.
Okay. Are you ready for it then? Because I'm going to start beatboxing now.
No!
And you've got to... It's the law, Blair. It's the law. Are you ready?
Okay.
10 seconds max. Are you ready?
I suck.
I'm terrible at beatboxing. Are you ready?
It's Blair the Flair kicking that ass. Can't nobody last. Oh no!
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. in the house.
In the house.
In the house. Love it. Lopez or Lomachenko?
Lomachenko.
Think so? Interviewed
Yeah.
Lopez the other day. He's pretty confident.
Lomachenko is invincible.
He's pretty... Well, he's not. He's already lost. You never know. He's getting on now. He's 32. Next question. Nights in or nights out?
Nights in.
Your best Ric Flair... Woo!
Woo!
Woo! God, I only got me bloody headphones off then. All right. You did it. You did it.
Feel the passion. You feel it. Don't get me hyped. You get me excited. The
now
Flair
I know why
is
they
coming.
call you the Flair.
The Flair is coming.
The Flair is back. So what have you got to say to your fans out there?
I gotta say to my fans to check me out, watch out, look out for the most exciting man in boxing, because we are going straight to the top. There is no time to waste, because Blair the Flair is coming. I'm telling all of the top welterweight fighters to look out for me, because I'm coming for every single one of you. I am the most exciting man in boxing. Woo!
Woo! I love you. You're absolutely awesome. Brilliant. Where can we find you on social media?
Everybody, you can find me on social media. You can find me on Netflix, Hulu. I was playing. You can find me
Serial boxing.
or your local cereal box and Wheaties.
Absolutely love you. You're
you
awesome.
You can find me on Snapchat. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at Blair the Flair. Just look up Blair the Flair. Google Blair the Flair. Hey, you can find me on your local Tinder application at Blair the Flair. Followers only. Look, check me out on Blair the Flair. We're going to have a whole lot of partying going on that application. Check me out. I am the most exciting man in boxing and entertainment, period. Woo!
What a legend. Blair, one of my most favourite interviews recently. What a great guy you are. And I wish you all the luck with your career. We'll certainly follow it very closely and look forward to speaking with you again. But what a great guy. I wish you all the best. You stay safe. How do I say it? You stay safe out there, won't you, mate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would like to give a big shout out and a big thanks to everybody that has supported me all the way out from the UK and London. Please, you guys, continue to love, continue to have the passion for boxing. And thank you for being that platform to help bring these fighters to the fans, because it's people like you that continue to progress and make boxing great. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.
Take care.